Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to point out that this isn't my first Candy Cadet video, and if you'd like context for why a lot of what's coming up places us in the middle of Candy Cadet's story instead of at the end, then you should watch the first one. The link's in the description. To make sure everyone is familiar with the new story, I'm just gonna play it for you now.
Now let me tell you a story about a young woman who, when she was little, was led into a dark forest by a witch, and almost eaten. She had fallen for the friendly voice without discernment, and was led astray. She had escaped before being thrown into the oven, but would have a scar for the rest of her life. When she had grown, she sought revenge on the witch, and entered the forest again willingly, this time with the confidence of age and experience. She was greeted at the mouth of the forest by a young boy who offered to help guide her through the darkness. She welcomed the help, and followed the young boy over the river, through the jagged trees, and toward a small house. "Come," the boy said. "Rest here before killing the witch." The young woman was tired, and would kill the witch in the morning. She followed the boy into the house. The oven door closed. The witch would finally have her meal.
Now that we're all on the same page, I'm going to introduce you to 5 different options as to what I think the story might mean. 2 apply to Vanessa, 1 to Cassie, 1 to Gregory, and 1 to our player character, who I believe could be both Cassie's dad and Bonnie Bro. Strap in and stick around because I have a special request for you at the end of the video. Vanessa, a young and upcoming Fazbear employee, is tasked with playtesting the new VR game. She winds up following the friendly voice of Tape Girl, ending up infected or manipulated by Glitch Trap. She manages to escape in the Princess Quest ending of Security Breach, but is scarred by the entire experience. Later on, she'll return to finish Glitch Trap off, but will be unsuccessful. She'll be tricked by someone unassuming that acts like they want to help. They will lead her into a trap, and Glitch Trap will have her again. It might turn out that Vanessa first encountered Glitch Trap much earlier in her life than we first imagined. In Ruin, Cassie refers to Help Wanted as that old VR game. It might be possible for Vanessa to have played it as a child, almost fallen prey to Glitch Trap, and escaped before it happened. Her return to defeat the witch with the confidence of age and experience might be literal, especially if she was mentally scarred by her childhood encounter. She might have come back because she knew he was a real threat, or simply to face a childhood fear and conquer it. She goes back into the realm of Fazbear Entertainment and meets Gregory, but before he escaped the mind control. He helps her get access to the old game in the Pizzaplex by doing some light hacking to land her a security gig. She ventures into the VR world once more, only to find that the boy has led her into a trap, and she becomes Vanny. I like this one quite a bit, as it retains the same age and gender for the human characters. But we all know by now that genders get flipped around quite a bit in the FNAF franchise. The Cassie stand-in in Candy Cadet's Ruin story was a boy after all. Speaking of, Cassie's a great contender to be the protagonist of this new story. The imagery of the house in the woods harkens back to the Ruin story, and we even witness her experiencing the first half of this story. She gets led astray by the friendly voice of Gregory, and only finds out it wasn't him once it's too late. The mimic nearly had her, but she manages to escape. The scar that's mentioned could be a mental scar, but it could also be a physical disability due to an elevator crash. Later on, Cassie returns to deactivate or kill the mimic. When she shows up, she meets someone friendly. It might be someone she knows, like Gregory, but it doesn't have to be. She accepts the help they offer, but they turn out to be under the control of the virus, and lead her to either her death or a life being mind-controlled. As compelling as that would be, it might be Gregory returning instead. After all, many assume Gregory was once under Glitch Trap's control, but escaped. There's not much detail as to how he got controlled, but perhaps he was the one that put the tapes together. The scars from that, plus everything he experienced during Security Breach, would be the kind of thing that follows you for the rest of your life. As he has already shown he cares about ending the madness going on in the Pizzaplex, it's not too out of line to assume he might return if he believes Cassie's in danger. If Cassie did fall victim to the Mimic, she could be under the virus's control. She could then meet Gregory on his way in and offer to help him get rid of the Mimic for good, only to trick him into falling victim to it as well. It would mirror the idea of Cassie being baited down by Gregory's voice rather nicely, and his concern for his friend might help redeem his character in the eyes of those who view him as a heartless monster. This last one is, admittedly, more tenuous than the others, but I felt it should be included as I do see this as a fairly strong possibility. If the story is about Cassie's dad, who is also Bonnie Bro, then the beginning is likely set around the time of the bite. The witch could be Afton or Fazbear Entertainment in general. Being partially responsible for the death of a child would be scarring enough, but with what we know about Peepaw Afton, I doubt he'd have just let it slide. I imagine him trying to enact revenge on his son's killers via the animatronics, which would also scar the poor kid. He escapes the probably lethal retaliation, and later on in life, after the founders and their kids have been MIA for some time, he hears that another Fazbear location has opened. This would set off all kinds of red flags, especially if his childhood buddy Michael had let slide that things were really messed up behind the scenes. To atone for his past mistakes, he gets a job as a technician and starts digging. He meets a woman named Vanessa who points him down the path we're on in Help Wanted 2. He uncovers the countless horrors that underlie the franchise and, in the end, falls victim to Afton's schemes. He enables William's escape and becomes trapped in the system himself, possibly being forced to watch his own child go to her very likely demise. Afton would probably consider it poetic justice. This is usually the part where creators would ask you to like and subscribe, but while those things are great, I did mention having a special request. If you check the description, there's a link to a poll on my community page. Go there and vote for the story that you find the most plausible. If you have strong feelings about an interpretation that I didn't cover, please put it in the comments of either this video or the poll and vote for the 6th option. Thank you for watching and have a
Fazerific day!